What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 264. My name is Harrison, and I am joined by my brother Nick, as always. Nick, how are you doing, buddy?
Doing great, man. Doing fantastic. Gloomy Monday.
Gloomy Monday, a gloomy week. But you know, I like the rain sometimes. Like I got my grass cut on last Thursday, so it still looks really nice.
Hype.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I like to be inside, you know?
They say, man, can't enjoy a sunny day without some rainy days.
There you go.
And, Lord knows we needed it. We needed this rain. I'll tell you that much.
What are you, 50? Lord knows we need
I
rain.
love saying that to Alicia when I'm like watering the grass. Like,
yeah.
Oh, we really needed this. We needed this rain.
Yeah. You know, when you're pushing 30 when you're Lord knows.
I'm teetering, man. Lord knows. Just makes me want to curl up and read a good book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting good. We're getting ever closer to the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Very excited for that. We're going to talk about The Last of Us episode 5 here in a little bit. It's crazy that it's almost over. It was also like a short episode too. It was only like 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah, ended quicker than I thought it would.
Well, yeah, because I guess I don't know, like, because I think that like the credit or like it was like supposed to go for like 55, but I guess there was 10-minute credits this time. I don't know.
Well, they do that, like they do the recap or they do like the breakdown after the episode after the credits. That's always like 5 to 10 minutes at least, and then they have the trailer for the next episode. So
yeah, which I never watched. I guess I never realized they did that because I haven't seen like the next.
So you don't know what's coming for the next episode?
I mean,
you gotta watch the trailer.
No, knowing from the game, I mean, I don't know.
It's a flashback one.
Well, yeah, I mean, Joel pops up at the end, so I figure we're gonna get like the astronaut scene in the museum and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, this season has like flown by.
It really has.
Crazy. But yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second. Obviously, full spoilers for that, and up until this point for the TV show, we'll probably talk about the game as well. So full spoilers for that, but we'll let you know that in a moment. But Nate, before we dive into what we've been playing, which is I think just Expedition 33. How was your week?
Week was good. Didn't really do too much this weekend. Just like went to the park and laid outside. Got a little burnt. It was good. Yeah, it's good. Played a lot of Clair Obscur. So, yeah, very very chill weekend. Didn't do too much, but Harrison, you guys went on a little trip this weekend.
Yeah, it was my wife's birthday this weekend. It happened to be on Saturday, so we had talked about for a while getting like a cabin or something. So we ended up going to Asheville, which was really cool because obviously like they had the big flooding last year, and we ended up getting there super, super late because we had to take a detour because they were doing construction on the bridge, which I don't know if that was related to the flooding at all. So it's like, you can't really get mad, but it's like, come on, it's like 8:00. Like, come on, like we could have waited like a little bit later to like start this before shutting down and it was still shut down like as we were leaving that too. So I'm not quite sure what they were doing. But it kind of worked out in a way because we got to go through like the Blue Ridge Parkway, and at that point it was still a decent amount of light, so we could see like all the trees, and you could just see the path of the flood, like all the trees that were like falling in the forest. There wasn't anything on the roads, obviously, but you could just see everything was completely just decimated by the flooding and like all the ravines and like. Anytime we went over like a bridge that had water underneath, like it was just kind of completely washed away. So that was I'm not gonna say cool to see, but it was I don't know,
crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, like I don't know, whenever there's like a disaster, you're probably never ever gonna see it, So seeing that in person was I don't know, opened your mind up a little bit about what actually happened and how like scary that was for all those people. So we ended up getting there a little bit after 9, and we literally had like a cabin in the woods. Like it was like kind of like a tiny home cabin. but there wasn't any like ladders or anything like that for the bed. It was all just one kind of long room with a bathroom and stuff like that. So, but getting there was a little bit scary because we had to go up we missed the turn initially, so I was like, I'm gonna have to back this thing up. So and we were up. And at that point we were still on the 2-lane road, but I still had to find a way to kind of back it up. It was a little bit of a challenge, and then once I got back to the turn, I had to then back up again because the roads are so narrow. We made it up there and we got to the top, and the cabins are super nice inside. Outside, they do look a little bit sketch. So I got there, I was like, I don't know. Britt, my wife, she was just like, let's just eat the cost. Let's just go get a hotel and screw. I'm like, you know what? I was like, no, we're here. Let's just figure it out. So I pulled up. At this point, we hadn't lost signal yet. So I pulled up the Airbnb directions. They're like, hey, once you get to the top, just go down the narrow pathway and your cabin will be at the end, like the very last one. So I was like, all right. So she got out and she walked down because she was so scared. Like she hates heights. So I carefully, made it down in the truck. And if we weren't in the truck, like, cause they did recommend having 4-wheel drive. So if I was on like a Jeep or something a little bit smaller, it wouldn't have been as bad. But going down was a little bit sketchy.
Gosh.
So we made it down. We got unpacked. My nerves were shot. Her nerves were shot. Immediately, as soon as we got to the cabin, I was like, "Here, we're cracking this beer," and then I threw on some steaks. And after that, it was a lot of fun. But and then we woke up the next day and chilled, and then went to downtown Asheville and hung out there for a few hours. She made me promise. She's like, "All right, we're not gonna stay out," because like our initial plan was we were gonna hang out Friday night, because we were gonna get there a little bit later anyways. And then we were just going to like Uber to Asheville. And we were about 25 minutes away from downtown, which is not unreasonable for like if you have to take an Uber. But I was like, yeah, we're just going to go downtown and hang out for a little bit. We can get a couple of beers and get some lunch. I was like, I'm not making an Uber driver to go through that, So that's what we ended up doing. We ended up doing a little shopping. Got a couple of like appetizers from like this little pub and made our way back. It was a good time.
Heck yeah, man.
Had a great time.
Love to hear it.
Yeah. So had a great time. Didn't play a lot of stuff over the weekend. I did bring I was telling you before we started the podcast, brought my Backbone controller for the and played Xbox, and they had Wi-Fi there and like internet and all that stuff. And I'm still impressed by like the cloud. Like it still works really well, good, especially on like the iPhone. So I did play about an hour and a half of Clair Obscur while we were getting ready. But yeah, let's kind of dive into it. Nick, you have finished the game now.
Yes, I've finished it. I've done most of the side content in terms of like optional bosses. I think I've done all of at least like all of the achievement based optional bosses, and
oh wow.
I mean, I've done a bunch of stuff. I haven't collected all of the journals yet, or found all of the little like the missing gesturals yet.
Okay.
I still want to do that. But yeah, finish the game like around 30-ish hours. One of my favorite endings of a game. There's the moment in Act 1, which is an incredible moment.
Yeah.
There's a similar. Actually, I don't want to even like say it's similar. There's just like an equally moving moment in Act 2.
Yeah.
And then it just like continues to ramp up, and like this is probably tied, or at least like somewhere close to Xenoblade 3's story.
Wow, that's high praise.
Yeah, super high praise because that's probably my favorite story in a game, and this one I think lives up to like that type of hype.
Hell yeah.
And it's like it's not as like wide scale as something like Xenoblade 3. Like Xenoblade 3 has such a huge cast, and you're on a globe-trotting adventure. This one it's a little bit different. It's a little bit smaller. It's a little bit smaller in scope.
Yeah.
A little bit more intimate, but I think the impact is still the same, and like the lessons that the game is like trying to teach you is still super, super impactful. So, I mean, this is probably one of my favorite games of all time at this point. I'm still super fresh on it, obviously, and I don't want to speak too soon, but I'd be interested if we revisited our top 25 lists, which we should do this year. We haven't done.
I think so.
I mean, we did them in 2022, and that was like pre Elden Ring, pre Tears of the Kingdom. Like a lot of big stuff has come out, so we should revisit those. But yeah, I mean this would fall. I mean, definitely somewhere on that list, but it's at this point one of my favorite games. I mean, I think everything it strives to do, it does it like pretty perfectly.
And and it's like chock full of like secrets too, like just the manner. Like I've seen stuff on like TikTok of, pulling like the little levers down in a particular order. There's like a painting that you can go through or add a paint. Like there's just a lot of like secrets in this game. Towards like the very beginning of the game, you come across the Necrons, and there's one that's like I think it's one of like the first expedition like diaries you come across the audio logs, and that Necron is like, am I saying that right? Necron. Nevron. Okay.
Nevron.
And that Nevron is like immobile, and it's asking for a light. Did you ever go back to that one and do that side quest?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do it within that area.
Oh,
or you find the light within the area. Like all of those like Nevrons. I think they're like white Nevrons that are asking for help. There's a handful of them, but
okay. Well, I did the one where you have to give him the like the bomb like that he's holding. I did that one, and then there's the one that was like the little what's the giant enemies called, like the big,
like the Gestrals?
No, it's a Nevron, but it's the one that like swallowed, like it can swallow one of your party members.
Yeah, I can't remember what that one's called.
Like I did that side quest where you have to like feed him like part like a piece of the Nevron, then you wait a little bit and come back and he's huge, and then he gives you like some item or whatever. But yeah, I mean I played a bunch this week, and it's just it's probably my favorite mechanics wise for kind of a JRPG. I mean the dodging, the reflecting is just pretty awesome when you get to pull that off. It's super incredible. Super satisfying. And I was telling you before we started the show, but at some point, in every JRPG or RPG, like you get kind of tired of fighting like the basic enemies. But I haven't hit that point yet. I just love every single fight because it's just like the mechanics are just so fun to use.
Yeah. It's so fun to learn like all the enemies' move sets and just nail that perfect parry. Like, I think the Duelist is still one of my favorite fights because that one is just so fun to parry or to dodge. And like, I definitely see that emulated throughout the rest of the game too. There are a lot of like bosses and enemies in the late game that have like these long-winded combos that you're like, at first you're thinking to yourself, how am I ever going to learn this pattern? And then by the time you beat them, it's so rhythmic. It's like you're playing a rhythm game, and it feels so incredible. And like it's all of it is like sound based too. You can almost close your eyes and listen to the sounds that the enemies make when they're attacking you, and you can parry that way. So it's man, they really went all out in the fact that like you're kind of in this box for the first two acts, and you can only do so much damage, right? You can only do up to 10,000 damage. And this isn't really, I wouldn't consider this a spoiler. I mean, people know you can.
It's in the trailer.
Yeah, it's in the trailer. Yeah. But after Act 2, you get the ability to, pretty much do as high a damage as you can possibly do. Yeah. So you go from doing like 9,999 damage in Act 2 to doing 50 million damage.
That's crazy.
And it's like, it's so insane. Like, and it's so weird. Like your play style changes. Like in Act 1 and Act 2, I was just trying to hit that damage cap, just trying to keep everyone alive, having everyone parry.
Yeah.
And then the last boss that I faced today, like one of like the I guess like final super bosses, each person on my team, I was using them to basically buff up one person so that they could do this one super attack that does, 25, 30, 50 million damage. And it's just
that is insane for someone who has not hit that point. Like, I'm sure it's like this is like just unfathomable right now for me. But so
yeah. it's crazy. And like cool. and people are doing like hundreds of millions of damage. Like there was a patch that came out.
I was gonna say, didn't they nerf like some ability or something, or a weapon?
Yeah, there was one weapon that it was supposed to, I think it was supposed to double the amount of burn you place on an enemy, but instead it like doubled the damage that you do, or like quadrupled the damage or something like that. And then there is an ability with Mael called like Standum, something like that. But that ability was just overtuned. And it just did way too much damage. So people were like one-shotting the final bosses.
Oh wow,
it's crazy. Yeah, I was seeing some of the videos. And I didn't use it before it was patched. I ended up like switching to a similar build after it was patched out. So I was never able to do like that crazy amount of damage, but I was able to get pretty high, which was cool. I was able to one-shot the final boss by the end of the game.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Very, very cool game.
Yeah, this game is great. Yeah, I'm sure it'll with the story sound like it holds up. And it's been super super intriguing up until this point. So, knowing that it holds up, I mean, yeah, I could. Yeah, probably gonna go down as one of my favorite JRPGs of all time: Lost Odyssey, Final Fantasy X, 10, whatever. So yeah, up there with some of the best ones.
I wonder how well this is going to do, because I know it's sold 2 million as of last week.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet it hits 5 to 10 million by the end of the year, especially like around Game Awards time.
Oh yeah.
It's going to win so many awards, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like best story, maybe best art direction, best
music,
RPG, maybe game of the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It'll definitely be in the game of the year category.
Yeah.
And right now, I just don't. I mean, from what I personally played and what we have coming up, like I just don't know if anything's going to come close.
That's what I was thinking. I just don't know. Like of course Mario Kart World is coming out, and Donkey Kong Bonanza and Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, maybe Donkey Kong if that game like is as good as it looks.
Yeah,
maybe
Death Stranding 2. I'm starting to get a little bit more hyped on that one. I need to go back and finish 1.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of really good games coming out. I don't know if any of them are gonna like hit the same as Clear Obscure is hitting.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a once in a generation game, I think.
Yeah, they don't come around too often. I mean,
they really don't, man.
Tears of the Kingdom for me, Elden Ring. I mean, and before that, I mean, what? Breath of the Wild, maybe Mario Odyssey, like Xenoblade. Obviously, Xenoblade was great. Yeah, it's so many games.
Yeah, I guess between 2017 and 2022, was there anything that came out that was like, oh my god, this is the best game I've ever? I mean, Metroid Dread was incredible.
It was great. Yeah, it was amazing.
I don't know. That was kind of a weird period.
Yeah,
there wasn't any like generational defining games. Maybe I'm missing some, but
I mean, like Baldur's Gate, for a lot of people, not necessarily for myself, but that was huge for.
Oh yeah,
for a lot of people. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. All right, well let's dive into the topic of the week, which is A Last of Us Season 2 Episode 5 review. So this is the one that we this is after basically the like kind of the Nora episode where we got to look at the Nora getting killed. How did you like it?
I really liked it. I thought it was great. Yeah, thought the direction this episode was really good. it feels a little bit rushed. Like it feels like
it does.
They're going through things a bit fast.
Yeah, and
Ellie's definitely not as violent as she was at this point in the game. I mean, and that's kind of because, the game has to be a game, right? You have to kill things. You have to.
Yeah, it feels more rounded, I guess.
Yeah, it feels more realistic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the scene wherever they're walking, like they after Dina just like, I mean, we said it before, but like she is like just awesome for just pushing she's like the catalyst for like pushing the story forward. Like
she's carrying the show.
Like yeah, if she wasn't there, like I mean, Ellie would be screwed. But I love the scene after she triangulated where they are, or like the basic location of them, and they're walking and they see the Seraphites that got killed. And they're like, whoa, like maybe we're way over our head. And they have like that. They finally have that moment of like, okay, should we just go back? Is it actually worth it? And obviously they continue to push forward, but I really like that scene. I feel like that scene was needed. Just because, it just makes sense.
Yeah, there's definitely been like a lack of reflection up until this point, and like almost a lack of Joel grief. But I get that it's been 3 months in the show, which is a lot different from the game. So like, it's less hot on everyone's mind. I mean, I know that's the point of this journey, but maybe it's something that they're trying to slow burn rather than have Ellie come out the gate, going on this rampage. Like you kind of see it when she's talking to Nora at the end. You see the rage. I mean,
that's like the first, that's the first time you kind of see it, because like up until that point, I mean, obviously they had the scene with the, Dina revealing she was pregnant, and like in the game, she was like, you're a burden now. And this one's very opposite. It was very, I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was more goofy, I guess, from Ellie's reaction. And then even up until the point of them like, haha and kind of joking around. And then they come across the Seraphites, and you're like, oh yeah, we're like, super, yeah, it's super real. Like maybe we should turn around. It's not worth the trouble. But in the game, I mean, they joked around a lot too. I mean, so it's not like it's uncharacteristic for these people, for these characters. But I just feel like they needed that moment of reflection of maybe we should turn around. But I'm glad. It did feel like Jesse came out of nowhere to save them. That was a little weird.
Like cop out a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I'm happy that they're there, because we have to get Tommy's like the ghost of Seattle. Like we have to have him like go crazy, and hopefully
that'll probably be in season 3, right?
Yeah, it probably will be,
because you see that when you're playing Zabby.
Yeah.
God, that was a crazy chapter, a crazy part of the game.
Yeah. So now that he's there, like I'm pretty sure we're gonna get that version of Tommy, because obviously in the game it's like Tommy's with you, right? Up until this point in the game,
I think you're like following his trail.
Okay, so that's right.
Like behind him.
He set out first. Okay. So they just flip flopped it in the show, but so I mean I love that scene of them sneaking into the trying to get into the hospital, but sneaking around, and then like the stalkers they're just so creepy, man.
Dude, like freaking menacing. Yeah, those are creepy.
Yeah,
that was Jesse did come out of nowhere. It didn't really make any sense how he even got there, how he knew they were there, how he.
I mean, he did say he saw the map, left behind, but it's like. But it's like I don't know. It was just too good of timing. But someone's got to save the day.
Yeah, I mean
and again maybe it. I mean they had that conversation too. It's like, what if I didn't show up? Like, oh, we've been fine, and he's like, up until this point, and then it's like, okay, so
right.
I like that interaction. But yeah, it was a little bit convenient.
it was very much like a TV show moment.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. But that whole sequence of them escaping and going into the forest and coming across the Seraphites, who then proceed to shoot Dina with an arrow.
Yeah.
And Jesse takes her off, and then Ellie sees was it the hospital?
The hospital, yeah.
Yeah, she sees the hospital and then gets tunnel vision. It's like, all right, I gotta go.
Yeah,
I gotta go.
Well, I was wondering because, like in the game, she's by herself at that point. So I was wondering if they were gonna split off at some point. We'd seen the trailer before, so we kind of figured that. But I mean, watching that dude get gutted was disgusting.
Yeah, I mean that was like almost exactly like the trailer for the game, like one of the first trailers.
Yeah, I mean the whole Nora interaction, like that whole scene was kind of like play for play from the game. It's like, she was Nora was saying, at first you're like, oh, maybe she didn't want to kill him, and then she's like, and then he cried like a little bitch and blah blah blah, and that was it.
And then you go into B2.
And then it was because this is the first time they the spores got introduced, right?
Right. And I felt like this worked. Like them introducing the spores now was a really good idea. Like it had a lot more impact, and like they were able to do. I feel like do a lot visually with that. Yeah. With that scene. Yeah. Like, it looked disgusting down there.
Oh yeah, with like the way they were breathing it out. I don't know if they do they do that in the game? Like, is it the actual person breathing out the spores?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's like the actual infected person breathing out the spores or
not. That was cool. If it's not, if it's different from the game, and in the game it's just like the fungus, spewing out the spores. I like the way they did it in the show because it looks, like you said, just disgusting.
Gross. Yeah. Okay. So when they were down there, and I guess she had heard where Nora, like she had like heard Nora was somewhere. She went and flipped the light. Was she turning on a red? Like, what was she? What was the goal? Was she just turning on a light?
I think she was. Yeah, I think she was just turning on like the backup power and and the backup power. It's not like a normal light. It's just like a red. Like,
okay, had to farm some aura a little bit.
Yeah, that's how it is in the game too. Like it was the red. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just farming, aura farming real quick.
Just aura farming.
But yeah, I mean the whole the end scene was like play for play from the game.
Yep. And really well done. I think this is like the first time that Ellie has been somewhat menacing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was as menacing as she was in the game.
No, absolutely.
Even so, but it's still something, and you can start to see the gears turn, especially when Nora was telling her what happened back at the hospital with Joel. And she was like, "Yeah, I know." And like, "Oh shit, she knew." Yeah. She didn't care, or whatever, or she did. Now she doesn't.
You're a piece of shit. And then obviously it ends with Mr. Handsome coming back, just aura farming the hell out of that scene. Hey. It's like, so we've missed you.
I missed you so much. So we know. I mean, I feel like at this point we know how the season is going to end. Because next week is going to be the flashback, and then I feel like it's going to end with a specific encounter. I don't want to spoil anything too much, but obviously,
so you think they're going to end it with that?
I think they'll end it in the theater, like almost like line, like bar for bar with the game.
Because I guess like in the game, like you play like day 1, day 2 with Ellie, and then the thing happens, and then you play day 1, day 2 with Abby, and then you play day 3 with Ellie, and then something like that.
I think you play day 3 with both. I think it's day 1, 2, 3 with Ellie, and then you do the same for Abby.
Okay,
I think.
So, maybe I can't remember. It's so much like
It's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, it's a lot of switching. It's like, yeah, I can't remember if you played day 1, day 2. Maybe
Okay.
you do.
I have it up right here.
Okay. So spoilers for the game, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna give it's just gonna be like overarching themes. Seattle day 1, day 2, day 3.
So you get the scene where Ellie confronts Mel and Owen. Is that day 3?
Yeah,
With Ellie?
In the aquarium.
Yeah, in the aquarium.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And then it goes to Seattle day 1, day 2, day 3.
And then the scene happens in the theater, and then you jump to Abby day 1, right? 2 and 3, and then everything meets. Okay. So yeah, maybe it'll So yeah, I assume it'll do the confrontation with Mel and Owen, and then it'll end when.
Man, that's a lot to get through.
I don't know. I feel like they've like you said they've kind of felt a little bit rushed. Yeah, I don't know. That's it's a lot to pack in one.
Unless the next episode isn't like a full flashback episode, it has some current events happening. But
yeah, that's a possibility.
I don't know. Or maybe the season finale is just like an hour and a half long.
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
And they just fit it all in.
We'll see. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see how it play out. So yeah, I thought it was a great episode. This season has been. I did actually last week. I did go back and watch all of season 1 again. I will say I probably do like season 1 better so far.
Yeah, I'd agree.
We'll see how season 2 ends. The only thing I didn't like about season 1, which I mean, episode 3 with Frank and Bill was again just a fucking heart-wrenching episode. But still holds up amazingly well.
Mm-hmm.
But when they get to Kansas City and you're dealing with Kathleen, I thought her character was a little bit. Not cringy is not the word, but like I understand her motivations with wanting to get revenge for her brother, but it's like you literally put the entire you killed everybody for nothing. Like it just I don't know.
Wait, sorry. Remind me of Kansas City.
So Kansas City, it starts whenever.
Is that like episode 4?
4, I think. Episode 4. It's episode 4 and 5 because that's with like Henry and Sam.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like her character itself, and I don't know if it was just the actress's portrayal of her. I didn't love her character. I thought
is that the girl from 2.5 Men?
I'm not sure. But I don't know. Her character didn't really seem like menacing. It just felt it's like why are we following this person? Like it just doesn't make any sense.
I do remember not loving. Okay, yeah, it is Kathleen Coughlin.
Yeah.
Wait, played by Melanie Linsky. Okay, yeah, she was in 2.5 Men.
Yeah, I just didn't love like.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird episode. Coming off of Bill and Ted, if that's the cadence that I remember, coming off of Bill and Ted,
Bill and Frank.
Bill and Ted, Bill and Frank. Wait, what is Bill and Ted? Is that a movie?
Yeah, Bill and Ted's like Great Adventure. It's like with Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Anyways, coming off of Bill and Frank and then going straight to that, and that one not having like a ton going on that episode. The 5th episode was really good.
Yeah,
with Henry, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, that was like the only part I did not like too much, but other than that, like it was a great season. So, so yeah, we'll talk about episode 6 next week and so on and so forth. But let's dive into the news of the week. Nick, do you have the Nintendo financials pulled up?
I sure do.
Let's go.
Let's go, man.
It's always a fun time.
Let me give you the high level cliff notes of Nintendo's financials.
Let's go.
All right. Here we go. Any minute now. Okay. So they're forecasting for 2020, fiscal year 2026, 15 million Switch 2 systems to be sold.
Yeah.
Which
Which I think some people were speculating that's a little bit, they're kind of lowballing a little bit, and people think it's going to sell more.
I think they're lowballing. They're probably taking into account tariffs, price increases, whatever have you, market uncertainty. I'm sure they're underestimating it a little bit so they don't, fall short of expectations and then scare investors, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And we don't know. I mean, like right now, it's obviously at 450, 500. Once they sell through these units, I mean, it could go up in price. There's just so much uncertainty right now.
Right, and also with launch sales, like Switch 2 is going to sell out, and it has sold out already. It's not necessarily indicative that the console is going to do well or that it's not going to do well.
Yeah,
come holiday season. It just depends on. It depends on people's interest in the Switch 2. After the early adopters like you and I get in and play it, after they get some games out, after they get into that holiday period, that's going to be the real test. I mean, similar to the Switch 1, like that one did well at launch. I think it sold like 2 million within the first month, and then word of mouth spread. They ramped up their marketing. They put out a bunch of really great games, and then they had Mario Odyssey, and that just like. I feel like that kind of catapulted the Switch.
Yeah.
And then
Mario Kart and
Mario Kart. The next year they had Smash. Like they were doing really well.
So two things. I'm bummed that we weren't able to just order the GameCube controller because I think we both got in. Like we both got the invitation and we could have bought this the Switch, but Nintendo they're not guaranteeing delivery, same day delivery or launch day delivery. So bummed that I couldn't just order that. I mean, I get it, but also like it sucks. And then second thing, do you think we're going to get a Switch 1 price drop at any point?
I don't think so.
Or do you think it's just going to stay the same?
I don't think so. I think it's going to stay the same.
I mean, maybe in a world where there
wasn't.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe in a world where there wasn't tariffs going on right now, or the heightened tariffs, maybe, but. Man, it's just been weird, man. It's just been like weird generation.
Is Xbox okay? So like all the news today about the U.S. and China coming to an agreement, or at least coming to a halt on tariffs for 90 days. Like U.S. is lowering theirs to 30%, China is lowering theirs to 10%. Xbox just came out last week and had all of these price increases on their hardware, and like future increases on their software. Are they going to walk that back? Now that the tariffs have come down, like is Nintendo going to walk back?
I don't know. Like I really feel like, and this is where I want these game companies to be more transparent about this type of stuff and say, hey, due to global economics right now, we have to do this.
Yeah.
We don't want to. We're sorry. Blah blah blah. But we have to. And I think people would say, okay, we get it. They didn't do that. They didn't say that. So I don't think the prices are going down. I think maybe Nintendo. I mean, I think Nintendo's price is fine. Like they said that they didn't evaluate like the tariffs when they were doing their price, but come on.
I'm sure they just market uncertainty.
Yeah. I think Xbox is done with this generation. I really do. I think they're just ready to move on with it and get the next, their version of Gen 10 out there and get their handheld out there and stuff like that, and just wash their hands of this generation. So I just don't. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe their accessories come down. Game prices are absolutely going to go to 80. But we talked about it last week. But Xbox seems to be doing their version of like variable pricing. So
yeah,
they have their high premium game for 80, and they have Gears at 40. Like I'm okay with that. But yeah, hardware. I don't see them pulling it back. But anything's possible in this market. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible, and it does suck because I feel like now, like Xbox has found their footing, and they finally have a good release cadence, releasing really good games.
That's the best they've ever been.
Of course, they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot. So it's interesting. I still think the Switch 2 is going to do well. I think it'll hit that 15 million in the first year. How it does it after that, I'm just not sure.
I
It
don't think
depends on
it's
the
gonna.
games.
It's not. I don't think it's
Depends on
gonna
the games.
outsell the Switch One. I just don't think that's. I don't think that's
No,
possible anymore.
I don't think it will. So Switch One was lightning in a bottle a couple of times between
The price was right. The form factor of it was like new and unique. I mean, now we have just a ton of different kind of handhelds on the market. Granted, the Switch is still, obviously it's way underpowered compared to those, but pricing it's extremely competitive. And so is the Switch too. I mean, versus all the other competitors out there. But yeah,
Switch One was just perfect timing, and having Animal Crossing and COVID launch at the same time, just like it's
like you said, lightning in a bottle. Like this, there's Animal Crossing has never sold that well, and probably won't ever again, to be honest. But
I don't think won't catch that same success. So who knows? I think it'll all come down to the games. What games are they putting out within the first 2 years? Of the Switch 2. But
like I said, Mario Kart, I guarantee you Smash is going to come out next year. I think oh gosh, what's the Smash creator in Kirby?
Sakurai.
Yeah, I think he's working on both. I mean, there's no way he's not.
Cooking.
Yeah, he's cooking. So we'll probably get that next year, and that'll be a huge system seller. It'll do just fine. It'll sell incredibly well, but I just don't think. I think it'll definitely get over 100 million units lifetime sold, but to get anywhere near like 160, who knows?
Hard.
And PlayStation's gonna, once Nintendo gets even closer,
Jim Ryan's gonna come out of retirement
and say, "Hey, we actually found a Toys R Us that was shut down years ago that had an extra 500,000 units in there that were sold through, so that counts, even though they didn't sell them." PlayStation 2 is just the greatest system of all time.
Jim Ryan.
Sorry about Concord.
Sorry about the past few years. It was my fault. So Switch 2 is forecasted at 15 million. Switch 1, they're forecasting 4.5 million consoles sold over the next year, which, I mean, that makes sense. People are still going to buy Switch 1. I mean, this isn't anything too surprising. Donkey Kong Returns HD sold over 1 million copies. No mention.
Kind of par for the course with Nintendo games. They just sell 1 million out the gate, and then that's it.
Except for Xenoblade. No mention of Xenoblade Chronicles X, which means it did not sell over 1 million.
It'll get there.
It was only on the market for like 10 days before the quarter ended.
I think a lot of people are, maybe waiting for like that patch so to play it on the Switch 2. That's what I'm gonna do at this point. I'm just gonna wait till the Switch 2 comes out, and then I'll continue to play it on there.
Yeah, I think it'll get there. I think you're right.
Get there.
I think they have some sort of enhancement going.
They're still tweeting about it like every other day. So I mean,
they're still trying to keep engagement high.
Yeah,
we'll see. Super Mario Party Jamboree is the fastest selling Mario Party. It's already sold 7 million copies in 24 weeks. I think they said something like that.
Yeah.
So it's doing really well.
Which makes sense why they have that $20 upgrade pack with the DLC and stuff.
Yeah, it's all making sense now. Zelda Echoes of Wisdom has crossed 4 million copies sold. Mario and Luigi Brothership is almost at 2 million. So it's doing really well. Same for Paper Mario, almost at 2 million. So, the Mario RPGs are doing well. I think their whole like revitalization of the Mario RPG series between the 3 games is seems like it went well. So I'm excited to see more of.
I'm glad to see Zelda sold over 4, because I think didn't you say that like maybe just over 3? Maybe you didn't. I can't remember.
Maybe I did. Yeah, I might have. Yeah,
so I'm glad to see it over 4. I think that game it's definitely different, and it's definitely not up there with like some of the best Zelda games. But as someone who recently finally finished it, it is a really, really good game. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Other than that, nothing super notable. The Switch 1 is at around 151 million units sold, so it's about 9 million away from from the PlayStation 2 and about 4 million away from the DS.
Yeah.
So it's it's still got a ways to go if it wants to pass those two.
It'll probably do it within the next 2 years. Because we'll probably get a price drop at some point,
right.
In the next year or so. We'll see. I would like to just see one just because there hasn't been one yet, and it's just unheard of. Even before the tariff stuff.
They'll bundle in Mario Kart 8 and Zelda rather than doing a price drop.
Keep it 350. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm surprised we haven't gotten anything about them taking away a SKU, like getting rid of the middle model and just having the OLED and the light. But I don't know.
I mean, it's still selling.
Yeah.
So
no sense in stopping, I guess.
Yeah. They also reconfirmed Switch 2 exclusive software that was coming this year. So obviously on June 5th, Mario Kart World, as well as Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Of course, can't forget about that one. It's coming in hot. And then
pack it in, Nintendo. Drop the price.
Pack it in. Drop the price. Donkey Kong Bonanza, July 17th. D&D Drink and Drive is coming summer 2025. And then Kirby Air Riders also coming in 2025 with no date.
How much do you think that Drag and Drive is going to cost?
$20 maybe? Game looks like ass, but
it looks like just super, just
like no hate,
uninspired, just like ugly, muddy colors.
Just like tech demo,
like
looking.
If they would have, I don't know, do like Rocket League visuals or something, like something like that. It just looks so bland.
Don't just have like robotic characters with no personality, no features.
It's very un-Nintendo like.
Like give them the arms treatment. Like have like interesting characters. I don't know if they're like weird about like being weird about like wheelchairs or like I don't know. I don't know if they're like not wanting to have actual characters. Like I don't know what the reasoning is behind that. It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, you've already made the decision to make it like a wheelchair game, which is cool. I mean, like it's always good to get like that diversity, and I'm sure there are people that I'm sure there are people in wheelchairs that are like, hell yeah, like we actually get a game, like that's super cool.
But now it's just a faceless.
And yeah, it just like color wise, it just looks very just bland. Yeah, I don't know. They really need to do. I'm surprised they haven't already, but they really need to do, another like I don't know overview trailer or something. Just I don't know, unless it's going to be like a free to play. This is part of NSO kind of thing, which I don't think it is. But I don't know.
They could do that.
It's very very unappealing.
Maybe they'll show it on Nintendo Today app at some point.
We'll see.
I don't know. It's weird, and I know you've been talking about like Nintendo having to have something else up their sleeve for 2025.
Yeah.
And when I look at this list, there's really not a ton of like exclusive software coming out. I know we have the Switch 2 editions of Kirby and of Mario Party, but outside of those, I mean, we just have Donkey Kong Bonanza, Drag and Drive, Kirby Air Riders, and then Hyrule Warriors, which is like a third party, second party game. I mean, that's not a ton. I mean, it's definitely not replicating the first year of the Switch one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that was gonna be impossible to do. I think it's just they had so many good games, and then it was like I think year 3 maybe like it was pretty mediocre. Like it was okay.
I mean, we
had our recently, we just recently did our tier our ranking list of all the Switch years, but I think around year 3 maybe.
No, it was 2018. 2018 was bad. Oh no,
that was the following year.
Yeah,
I think it was like Smash Brothers, and that was maybe the kind of it.
And then a bunch of remasters.
Yeah.
And like Labo stuff.
Yeah. So hopefully maybe we get the flip-flop. Maybe we get, and I'm very excited for Donkey Kong, Zelda, the Imprisonment War. Like it looks, is it Age of, what's the title of it?
Age of Imprisonment?
Something like that. It looks really cool,
Yeah.
But they just, I really do think they have something up their sleeve. We're gonna get something else before the end of the year. We'll see.
I guess I didn't mention Prime 4, but that one is also coming to Switch 1. So
yeah, and it's like I'm very excited for Prime 4, but yeah, it's like we've already known about that for forever at this point.
Right.
So it's like it's
you just want
exciting.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm just ready for it to come out so we can play it.
Right.
So anything else about the financials?
Have you thought about any other day one Switch games you're gonna pick up? I saw that Hogwarts Legacy, you can upgrade it for $10.
I did see that. Yeah, I saw Nintendo
currently
Prime
on sale
posted.
for $17. So I might take that.
I might do that. I might, because like I did want to play that game at some point, or try it out at least. And yeah, if it's $20 right now on sale, yeah, I might just do that.
Yeah, and it uses mouse controls too, so it'll be a good game to test that out.
Yeah, I might end up picking that up. I'm still thinking about Bravely Default. I know that finally did go up for pre-order. I think I've decided that I'm going to go all digital for the Switch 2. Wow. I think unless like, and it's not so much of like the game card thing. Like, yeah, it's annoying, but I mean, you buy an Xbox game right now, PlayStation game, it's none of it's on the disc. So like, it's not anything new. I don't think Nintendo is ruining the industry because of it. It's just, at least they're doing it in a way where you can actually resell the stuff.
Well, so is Xbox and PlayStation, but
but at least like there's that.
Oh, you're saying that the code in the disc, code in the box.
So at least there is that for people that want to have it on their shelves. But yeah, unless some cool special edition or like a Zelda game, like I'll probably end up getting that one physical just because it's Zelda. But I don't know. I'm kind of tired of like lugging around cartridges and trying to play the PlayStation Portal. And if I want to play something different, I gotta go downstairs and swap a disc out. Yeah, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for this digital era.
Well, then Harrison, you better be ready to pay some premium prices for some Express SD cards because they're not cheap. I mean, the 256 gig, that's like the only one that's available right now. That one is $60, whereas you can get a terabyte regular SD card or regular micro SD card for like $40-$50 at this point. I have a 1 terabyte SD card from like a year and a half ago that I was saving for the Switch 2.
Damn.
And now I can't fucking use it.
I mean, that stuff is definitely expensive. It's definitely not. I don't think it's nearly as expensive as like the PlayStation Vita cards. Like those are really.
Oh God, yeah.
That was like a proprietary. I mean, that was like a proprietary, like only PlayStation or Sony made them. It was insane. But I don't know. I'm kind of used to it now with Xbox and PlayStation. It's like, yeah, it's annoying. Like you have to delete stuff, but I mean, the stuff I'm deleting, I'm probably never going to play again, or at least not for a long time. So
true. And like all of Nintendo's first party software, that's not going to take up that much space.
No. And it comes with it comes with 256 gigs on the system itself. Minus some room for the OS. So not a huge. I think it'll be just fine.
Yeah, and I think we'll be fine for the first couple of months.
Yeah, probably the first like year or so, and then maybe the price of that. Well, usually the stuff price comes down, but probably not. It might get more expensive. God. So yeah, I'm still very excited. Maybe Hogwarts Legacy I'll pick up, get in on that. Bravely Default, but I'm excited for Mario Kart. The closer I get to it, the more I'm ready to play the game. So.
Yeah, looks fun. Excited to boot up Zelda as well. Yeah,
Zelda, like Kirby. I'm gonna I don't think. Do we have a release date for the Kirby DLC?
August.
It's August. Okay, August, so yeah, I'll definitely pick that up.
And then like, I'll probably check out the upgrades for like Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, just the little like, tiny upgrades or whatever.
Upgrades. I am really interested in how Scarlet and Violet looks. So I know you have, or do you still have?
I do, yeah.
Okay, I want to hear about if there are any like major improvements.
I need to boot it up and play some more just so I have like both perspectives. I need to do that. So I can, because I mean, when I did play, I had a good time. It didn't run like super off of that, but I was still kind of in the starting zone. So I'm sure once you get out into the wilds, it goes crazy. But
start to show its true colors.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, after the we got the delay of GTA 6 last week. The next morning, they dropped the trailer and a whole bunch of details about all the characters and stuff like that. We're not going to go in like a deep dive, but yeah, I'm sure you probably watched this trailer 1,000 times by now. But it looks great. I mean, it looks like $1 billion game.
It does.
It looks awesome. I'm very excited for GTA. I mean, GTA is always one of those, like, I'm not gonna say generational because we used that word earlier, but like, I don't know, it's always like a history.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you gotta think about it. Like GTA 5 was a 360 game, so it skipped the completely last generation of consoles. Like, yeah, they had like their versions, the PlayStation 4 version and stuff like that, but even the Series X and 5 versions. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it is definitely a generational game for sure.
It's going to be
historical game.
Yeah, the best selling game of all time. Like the trailer itself is one of the best, one of the highest viewed trailers across all platforms.
Yeah.
Like beating out like trailers for Avengers Endgame. Like it's like crazy. The best performing trailer of all time, which is wild. Like it just shows how much.
This game's going to go crazy.
It's going to go absolutely crazy. Like
$100.
At least, at the very, very least, it'll be $100.
Absolutely, absolutely $100.
They got to make that. They got to make that money.
Yeah. Oh, they'll go crazy. There'll be so many different like special editions. Like they'll have like the shark cards and stuff like that. Assuming they have the online. I'm sure they'll have the online ready to go at launch. I don't know. Probably like it's like a duffel bag or something, like as a prop or replica. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Trail looked great.
Looks incredible, and the story looks.
It's GTA.
Yeah, it's GTA, but I'm really intrigued about the dynamic of the two protagonists.
Yeah,
I think my issue with GTA 5 was like I didn't really like any of the main characters.
Yeah, I mean, like
they're all kind of scummy.
Or like Nico and his cousin. My cousin, I can't remember his name, but yeah, super likable. I mean, yeah, they do like rotten shit and like aren't good people, but they're likable. And I didn't really care for Trevor. I mean, he was funny, I guess, but just like a big old piece of shit. And I can't remember the other two characters' names.
Michael,
and I can't remember.
Yeah, having the triple protagonist probably wasn't like the best move narratively, but who cares? The game sold 200 million copies, so I can't. Yeah.
Looks good. Yeah, looks good. Moving on, the reviews for Doom: The Dark Ages dropped. It's currently sitting at an 85 on Metacritic, which is great. Seems like more Doom, but maybe a little bit streamlined a little bit with how the mechanics work. A lot of people love like the shield mechanic and the pairing system, so gotta love that stuff. Game looks ridiculous, looks metal as hell. I mean, it's Doom. Like
looks like Doom.
Looks like modern Doom. It looks awesome. This comes out on Thursday, right?
Thursday, yeah. It's in like you can do early access now if you pay a premium, so you can do that, or you can play on Thursday. But yeah, I mean, this looks really good. We were talking about it before the podcast, but I loved Doom 2016, and I love that multiplayer. I don't know if you ever played the multiplayer for Doom.
I played a little bit of it.
It's really good.
2016 was like such a kind of a weird game because like they had like the invasion system as well in that game where you could invade someone's single player game. So they were kind of toying around with those mechanics. I don't remember that ever happening to me when I played back then. I
know they dropped it in Eternal.
Yeah. And I played a slight amount of the multiplayer, not enough to remember really that well, but but yeah, after that one they obviously dropped all the multiplayer stuff. But yeah, I mean I liked 2016 Doom. I liked Eternal a lot. it seems like the boss fights are a little bit better in this game versus because some of those boss fights were so long in Doom. So it seems like they kind of streamlined that stuff a little bit, which is good. But yeah, all the stuff, the dragons, the mechs, it looks great, man.
It looks like
just a dumb like 12-hour single player game. Like that's perfect.
Kind of the perfect game to play after something like Clair Obscur. Like, all right, I just want like a palate cleanser, just like something easy.
Nothing like open world. It's just
no open world.
Yeah.
It looks good. I think this is the lowest like Metacritic average of the 3 games. I think it is. I think 2016 was like an 86, and then Eternal was an 88, 89.
Yeah. That's possible.
Not necessarily a testament to the quality of the game by any means, but when you have 3 games that are kind of doing the same thing, riding off the same formula with some small tweaks.
Yeah, Doom Eternal was 88 on PC.
Okay, so all like similar quality, it seems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm excited to try this one. I didn't love Doom Eternal. I shouldn't say that. Not that I didn't love it. I just didn't. It didn't click with me as much as the first one did.
I don't think I liked it as much as 16. It's just kind of lame, just like and the mechanics were
a bit more complicated.
Yeah. So yeah, very excited to try this one out. Mm-hmm. Moving on back to Nintendo on their Nintendo app, they announced that you'll be able to use the Joy-Con mouse mode on the home screen. I guess I figured that was the case, but yeah, I mean that's cool.
Big news.
Yeah, it's huge news. So yeah, I mean it's cool that's an option now for home screen. And I think a lot of people are going to play this. I mean, a lot of people already do play the Switch at a desk. When especially for streaming. So I think it's cool that that's a functionality on the home screen, I guess.
I don't know, man. I'm going to try this out. I'm really excited to try out mouse mode. I'm going to try it on my pants, on my pants leg. Who knows what
you could do a does it work on your pants? Yes. Does it work on the carpet? You could make a little series about that.
Does it work on my butt cheeks?
Yes. Does it work on the cheekers? Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. You want to read the next one?
Yeah. Fallout. Season 2 has been announced. Or yeah, it's already been announced, but
it was announced like the day after it released, like season 1 released. It was man, what a season!
Incredible success. Season 2 is coming in December of this year, and the show has already been renewed for season 3 ahead of season 2's release. So,
hell yeah,
they're the show's doing well. I think this is probably one of like the bigger successes at Amazon, and they're probably at least on like the Xbox Microsoft side, they're probably trying to move along this Fallout 3 remaster as quickly as possible to line it up. Yeah. I don't know if there's a new Vegas remaster in the works or not.
Well, that's what the next season looks like it's going to. Mm-hmm. With how it ended, but yeah, super excited. Season 1 was so good. It was. I mean, we talked about it before, but I mean, it's one of the best video game adaptations ever, in our opinion. It's absolutely fantastic. It's the perfect. I mean, as much as we like The Last of Us and how like good that show is and how like close it is to like the source material, this I don't know, this just feels like perfect versus
it feels like Fallout without following the exact Fallout story, which is great. Like Fallout is a world that is super vast and super funny. Yeah. And I feel like the show really leaned into that part of it. Whereas like Last of Us, it's a super bleak show and it's going to follow the source material. Yeah.
And then the last bit of news, a little bit of a feel good story versus last week. So last week, Polygon and what was it Polygon? It was Polygon, right? Yeah. Polygon and Giant Bomb, like essentially, I think Giant Bomb got shut down, and then Polygon, I think
they were unrelated, but like Polygon had a ton of layoffs.
Yeah.
It's down to like a skeleton crew now.
Yeah.
And then,
which I mean, we're in a world where, I just don't know if these gaming websites are profitable anymore. I think a big portion of it is I think Google changed the way they do their ad revenue. For
it's the AI. It's the AI summaries at the top.
Yeah. So that is like taking away like clicks for websites, and thus take down their ad revenue. So that's pretty shitty on Google's part.
Yeah.
But here we are in the world of the AI kind of overview, which in it kind of it's stealing, essentially. It's stealing like the headlines and like the actual work that people do, and then just puts it in like a little summary for you. Which for the average consumer, like that's probably awesome for those people. They can get the quick source of information without having to go through the websites. But yeah, it's definitely hurting these websites. But personally, I don't think I've ever really gone to Polygon before. So I'm not familiar with a lot of that staff. But Giant Bomb, I mean, I've been listening to Giant Bomb for so long. And then after like Brad and the Nextlander crew left, like it did feel different. Like Jeff was still there. And then obviously he ended up leaving and doing his own Patreon and stuff like that. But I really liked like them bringing on Jeff Grubb, like Jan's awesome. Bacalar is awesome. Jeff Bacalar. I mean, like all those people are like great, great in the video game space. So I and obviously the feel good story is Jeff. The Jeffs now own Giant.
Well, all of them own a portion of it. So
I thought Bacalar and Grubb, I thought they own it, and then Dan, Jan, and are
Mike Minotti
and Mike are on the team, or do they all own some sort of shares? Not shares, but
what is it? Jeff, both of the Jeffs, they worked at. I think they were like. I watched their PAX press conference today, and so they sold. So Phantom sold Giant Bomb to the Jeffs, and now the Jeffs are dispersing ownership between the 5 of them.
Okay,
so they'll all be co-owners, but yes, initially Phantom sold to both of the Jeffs.
Okay, I missed that part then. Okay,
I don't know why it was sold to just them 2 and not like Dan and wait, Dan
Reichard, Jan,
Dan and Jan. Yeah, I'm not sure why it was just the Jeffs involved with the initial buyout, but yeah, they all own it now. That's super cool. I mean, it sounds like they're going the kind of funny route, like having sole ownership over Giant Bomb, like any subscriptions.
Unless you're like the IGN of the world with just like kind of a monopoly at this point for game, not a monopoly per se, but they're the biggest one left standing out of all the big websites. So yeah, I think that's what a lot of these people are doing. They're just starting their own Patreons and owning their own stuff, and you don't have to worry about because I think it started with like I don't know, like them making jokes and online or whatever about whatever, like who cares. I don't know. Anyways, I'm glad it wasn't good for the brand, but it's like what is the brand? Like it's
like the brand is Giant Bomb.
nerds listening to gaming news and wanting their favorite people's opinions.
Who cares?
So, yeah, who cares? So yeah, glad they got ownership of it. Glad they're reviving it and can kind of turn it into what they want it to be, and more opinions and more takes and whatever in the video game space is definitely needed for sure.
Yeah. Even if people are kind of talking about the same thing, it's always good to get different perspectives.
Yeah, exactly. So glad that worked out in their favor. I was pretty bummed when I heard about that. I was like, man,
I know,
really, Giant Bomb, like that was dang.
That was like a staple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to them a ton, like back in really like 2017 through 2021, 2022. And then, when the Nextlander crew left, and then eventually Jeff left. It felt like the nail in the coffin. And then they brought on Jeff Grubb, and that felt like it revitalized it a little bit.
Yeah.
Now I love Jeff Grubb and Mike Minotti.
Oh yeah. They're great. Like Last of the Nintendogs.
They do a great podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of the crew, like looking back, like did not like the way they did like the game of the year, but I loved listening to them do the game of the year episodes where they were just kind of tearing apart the games and just like, oh, it was so much fun. Like I think it was like the year of like when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and I think it was Dan that was like he fucking hated Red Dead. So he was like, I think they put it, they ended up working it out where they put it in like most disappointing, like it winning the most disappointing category, or maybe it was in that category, like the like runner up maybe. And then I think in one game of the year, like it was an incredible listen. Like I highly recommend.
Was that 20? That was 2018.
It was 2018. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, when Red Dead came out. Yeah, that was a great episode.
Did they do it like that last year?
I don't think they got it in as they do like their big game of the year episode, but they don't rip into it like they used to back then.
Yeah, okay. I remember watching 2024's, and it was like it was more of a discussion. It was more tame in comparison to when there were much more strongly opinionated people there.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, glad they got that. But all right, Nick. Well, anything else before we wrap up?
No, I mean today's May 12th. We're less than a month away from the Switch 2.
Yep.
Coming up on
exciting.
more Last of Us. Coming up on Doom, The Dark Ages. You're going to finish Clear Obscure.
Yep.
Got a lot of good stuff.
Is there anything else that's coming out? This Doom was like the last big Xbox thing, right? For a while. Until years, maybe.
Yeah, I mean there is the Sea of Stars DLC that's coming out this month. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 is coming out.
Yes, I can't wait for that.
That's coming soon.
I played a little bit of 1 and 2 back in the day, but 3 and 4 is what I'm really, really nostalgic for.
I think 3 is gonna tug at my nostalgia pretty hard.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that. I've been watching some of the previews that have been going online for that game, and it just looks great.
Yeah. And then we'll get Thug, and then we'll get Thug and Thug 2 eventually. That'll be like peak. That'll be peak.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I wonder if they'll do. I wonder if they'll split up Thug 1 and 2, because those are way more like single player based. Like they actually have a proper story mode. So I wonder if they split those up or if they package them together. I'm not quite sure.
They could get away with like two $40 remakes, remasters.
That'd be cool. Or if they did like a bundle for 50 and then 30 is separate. I don't know. However they figured that out. But yeah, I'm very excited for that game. But yeah, lots to look forward to. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show here. Appreciate everyone listening live, watching the audio version. If you can review us on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. You can always email the show, text the show. If you guys ever have any questions, follow us on TikTok, on X, and yeah, it's a good time.
It's a good time, man.
It's a good time. We will be doing a Claire Obscure spoiler cast at some point. I don't know if it'll be next week or the week after, but it'll be definitely before the Switch 2 comes out. I just got to find time to get that finished up, but we'll definitely do that one. And then we're back next week with talking about some Doom and whatever else the hell happens. We'll see.
Who knows?
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.